As I was mentioning to you, and this is in continuation of the virtual learning environment course. And for those who were not here earlier, my name is Professor Hernandez. And the intention of this course is to help you to learn to navigate the Canvas platform. Now, the LMS, like I said before, Learning Management System, don't forget that acronym. LMS are very similar, most of them, even though they have their different layout colors and some features are called differently. Once you learn how to navigate one, if you understand how an LMS works, you can virtually work on any of them, or at least in most of them. Like I was saying to you, as you are invited to your course, and this is viewing it from the student point of view, this is what the students will see. The student can see different modules. Now, you can choose to give your course a week-based approach or a module-based approach. It depends on the level you're teaching. I prefer to use modules because with modules, I can focus on topics, and some topics really do not require as much time, but some do. So for the purpose of Canvas, I have done it in modules. And if you notice, you would see that there's an open module, but there's one that is locked. Let me show you over here for those who need to be more visual. And this is what we mean. So this one is open, however, this one is locked. The reason that is that way is because it was set up in a way that this is the initial module, but then the initial module was set up as a prerequisite for the subsequent module. In other words, the reason why as a student, I cannot view this second module is because I would have had to complete the first one in order to advance. And this is very helpful for those students who do not like to complete their work and keep up and say that, oh, I catch up later. No, they cannot advance unless they complete each module. And we're going to be seeing how we could set that up. So for that purpose now, we are going to talk about the different things that you can set up within a module. Different things that you can set up within a module. Okay, I pause the recording. Do we have any questions so far? Any questions so far? Just say yes, no, B, no.
No, no.
Okay, anybody else? Is everybody okay? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna have to assume that everybody understood, and I'm gonna move to the next stage. So now we are going to leave the student view. I'm gonna click right here below, leave the student view. Hopefully you would have noticed that where as a prof, the way in which I accessed the student view was by clicking on this little square here, student view. That takes you straight to the next window where you basically impersonate a student. This is where you impersonate a student. Okay, so you notice that I have a publish button and an unpublished button. So until I publish this, of course, you wouldn't be able to see the course. And this is very important because sometimes we do a lot of work and we advance, and until we click this publish, nobody can see all of that hard work we have done. So it's very important for you to select publish whenever you are ready to share your content. Unless you're to share ready rather to share your content, you do not select publish. And this is when you create a module, which is, of course, hopefully you will learn to do it today. Now let's see. How did I create all of this? Well, the way I created that, when I have my, my virtual learning space or my virtual learning environment, I selected the word module. So I'm going to do it for the purpose of the class, and I'm going to create a new module. So in the new module, I am going to talk about communication, just so that everybody knows how to talk about communication, how to handle communication. For the purpose of communication, we have Professor Sismara Sanchez, she's having issues connecting through Zoom. However, the platform has a built-in conference feature that she's going to use to help us to navigate the conference room. So communication, I'm going to create communication. And when I create this module, I have it right here. Now, what do I want to do with communication? Let me see how many things I can do. I can click the plus sign. However, you notice that this is not published. So even if I invited you to the course, you couldn't see the module called communication because it's not published. However, once you access the course, you would see that you have complete access to the first two modules. So in building communications, I want to create what first? First, I want to create a page, because a page is what is going to help me to share the information that I want my students to know. So I'm going to create a page, all right? And I'm going to add that item. Hold on. I'm going to add that item. I don't know why I see it, because I'm sharing. Let me pause it and do it for a minute. Okay. Yeah, it's not doing it. I believe maybe it's because I'm sharing. Oh, I did the quiz. Ah, got it. So I was saying that I wanted to create a page, and as soon as I hit create page, I am going to have to give my page a title. So it's communication. So I am going to call the page how to use the communication features. This is just for, because I'm going to use it. So I'm going to add the item, and I have just created a page. Now, over here, I have just created a quiz. How did I create a quiz? I added, by the way, I added the plus sign, then I go here and then I select whatever I want to create, and I created a quiz. Likewise, I want to create an assignment. I create an assignment. Then I am going to add the assignment. The assignment name is going to be create an announcement. So let's say you will create an announcement, and that's what's going to be your assignment. Now, because the page is the information, which is basically like the book, I'm going to put the page to the top. Then I'm going to do the assignment to build up. And then let's say I'm going to do a quiz. We're going to go over exactly how you build up each of them. I'm just going to change the name. And then I'm going to say here, I'm going to call it this effective communication. So now that I have created all of this, notice that I have a save and publish, but I'm not ready to publish. So I'm going to go back to home, and in there you will see that we created a whole module. We have not added the details of each module, the points and all of that, but we're going to go, we are going to go into those details briefly. So far we have learned how to create a module, and instead of having things all over the place, we want to have each question or each quiz or each assignment pertaining to each module within the same module, containing the same module. However, if you select pages, you will see the pages separately. Like, for example, I created a page just for the purpose of the class to assist you. It's called How to Use I Learn to Navigate, which is my page. However, we just created one called How to Use the Communication Features. So since this is my main page, I want it moved to the top. And I'm going to probably edit here, put like number 1, then in the second one, I might do number 2, so that it will all appear in the order in which I want it to appear. Any questions so far? Any question?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Because only one person answering? Okay. All right, so let's go back. Now, as part of the course, you have a video that have like more general features, like it has like a broad explanation. The video is right here. It's called Some Features of the LMS Canvas. Of course, you have to complete that in order to move forward. And it's just going to reinforce what you have been learning here. So let's see. If I want to, as a student, if I want to see what's done so far, remember, this is as a prof. Let me go back as a student and let's see as a student what I can see. Of course, you can see the welcome module, the tips module, but you don't even see the learn to navigate page because it's not published, and therefore you don't see either the communication module because it's not published. So then again, this is to reiterate the importance of selecting publish when you are ready to share a course. So I'm going to exit the student feature again, and let's continue with more items that I could add to the module. So on my left, I have announcements, assignments, discussions, grades, people, etc. Now, how did I get that order? Well, pretty easy. I went to settings, and within the settings of my course, I decided that this was my picture. This is the code. Actually, the code is T-Tech because this course is called teaching technology rather. And this module is called the virtual learning environment, right? So the term, I get to decide which term I want to use, etc. Now, I have sections. So if I'm teaching more than one section, I get to include them here. Let's say I have the same class, exact class, or different. You know, some things might be different, but it's the same level because it's within this same course. So I get to choose group 1 from group 2 right here, and I divide them into sections. Okay. Now, in terms of navigation, which is what we were talking about, this is how you come up with your menu. Now, let's say if my interest is to ensure that students see the page first, then I'm going to put the page. I just have to drag it. Home is important, then announcement, then I'm going to do pages, the page. Because remember, the page is the book. The page is what comes out of your mind, your brain, your research, and that's what you want them to read. It could be a photo that you took from a book. It could be something that you typed. It could be a PowerPoint presentation that you have. But whatever it is that you want, you can add it to that page, and we will go through that. So then after the pages, I decide that I want assignments, but I want also quizzes right after assignment. And then I also want discussions because in Instructure Canvas, like other LMS, remember Learning Management Systems, you can actually create a discussion and decide that you want to grade that discussion. So that helps you kind of gauge and feel how your students are doing. And then it creates this kind of competitive environment where everybody wants to respond better than the rest. And they do have a grade for that. So in the video, you get to see a discussion, an actual discussion with students from a course right here for the International Cultural Institute for Religious Studies for BJC, Bahamas Junior Certificate Prep, where they had to submit their answer, and I decided to write my comments in red so they could see how they could improve. So then again, we have the grades and then people. People is where you add the persons that you want to include in your course. You could choose to do a self-enrollment course where you send a link and via a password or a code, they access the course, or you may choose to go to people and add persons directly by way of adding their email. We're going to do the people in a few. The files, this is where you have, you name it, all type of files that you may have in your system. Once you upload the files, they're going to be contained there. Then you have your syllabus. Now, your syllabus is so important that it should have been here. This is where you tell everybody what's going to happen in the course. And I want to have my rubrics right after grades. This is my choice. You may choose differently. This is what I prefer to do, and you could feel free to do it otherwise. Now, my outcomes are part of my grades. So I want to have my outcomes here. And you know what? Since I'm going to have home and announcement to the top, I could choose to move people to the top or right under the syllabus, or I want to go over here, or however I want to do it, you know? My modules. So where do I want my modules? I want my modules right after my syllabus and before my pages. Then attendance, all of these have to do with the students. So you may choose to do your attendance where you have your grades, your rubrics, and then so forth. Notice that you have Office 365 integration. You have, yay, good news, Google Drive integration. Now, after I have completed that, I decided that this is how I want to navigate. I am going to save my course. And as you can see, if you look at my left pane, all of my menu changed so far. Do we have any question?
Hold on. Question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, people means the participants in the course, or
Yes. So
okay.
let's, speaking about that, let's do a trial and then it's easier for you to understand.
Okay.
Okay. So for the purpose of people, I am going to add persons to the course. Now, as you can see, I have added some other students. and some of them have their invitation pending. So I decided that I am going to that I wanted to invite the persons in this course. Therefore, I've asked you for your emails, which hopefully you would have typed in the chat, the Zoom chat, that is. And if you didn't, I guess we can catch up later with that. But for that purpose, I've already created a list of persons that sent me their information. So for now, I am going to add them as students. Now, they could have been teachers or a teacher assistant or a designer or an observer. Who is the observer? Is the student parent. So when I have students in up to BGCSE level, meaning senior high level rather, depending on the standards of the institution, you might be required to notify the parents. Therefore, you should have an observer attached to a student. And you will see that feature explained in detail in the video where you have an adult that was added as an observer to observe the development of a specific student. So for the purpose of the class, all of you would be students. And I am going to click next. And I have already added them. Now, this is telling me that I have no name for them. So I'm going to take, and then I'm going to say, I don't know, I'm going to give them a name. How about I do demo 1? You could always change your name when you open your account and you go to your account settings. You can change your name or in your profile and what's. So for the purpose of this course, you will all be named demo, and I am going to select next. And now I have all of these persons in the course, and I'm going to add them as users. And now I can see that they all have a pending invitation, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to accept your invitation, and then we will come right back. Do we have anybody who may need to be added? Okay, so most of you have been able to accept your invitation. As you can see, I am looking inside my people. I went to people and I had sent all of these invitations to you guys. Some of you are still pending, and some of you were able to get inside the class. Now, one of the cool features that this platform has, this LMS has, is the conferences. And we're gonna have a part 2 of this workshop with Professor Cismara Sanchez La Bastida. And she's going to help us to navigate Big Blue Button, because while we're using Zoom for the purpose of this meeting, the integrated tool, I like to call it like a built-in Zoom, but it's really called Big Blue Button. And it's the technology that is used by Instructure Canvas to have everything in the same space. So when you have everything on the same space, it saves you time from having to give your students your WhatsApp, so your number to write you on WhatsApp, your email to write you by email, doing flyers for this, doing these things for that. If that is too much, you have everything here. Do you want to talk to your students? Create an announcement. Now that you have enrolled as students, those who have accepted the invitation, I can create an announcement and I can say to you, welcome. The announcement is called welcome. Welcome to the virtual learning environment. So I may choose to use a picture. I want to use a photo. I'm going to use a photo. So I can go online and I can choose a photo of my liking. And I can do two things. I can upload the photo from my repository or my file or my device, or I may choose to just copy and paste. So I'm going to copy and paste, and you'll see this cool feature. So over here, I'm going to paste, and then I have the whole thing. If I think it's too big, I can make it a little smaller. And I want it in the center. I could center the picture right here. What else do I want to do? I want to write, then I write, welcome to our platform. So the typo was not part of the course, by the way. So is that too small? Fine. I want to make it a little bigger. I make it bigger. What do I want to do? Put it in the center also? I put it in the center. And right now I just created a cool sign that I can add to my course. So I can allow liking, so my students just like it, right? I can allow persons to post something after seeing my posts or something like that. So I'm gonna allow post, enable feed, and then I'm gonna use replies, and then I'm gonna say something like, welcome to Instructure Canvas, and then I can ask, what do you expect? What do you expect from this course? And of course, this question is too big because it's not supposed to be assigned. So then now I'm going to make it smaller, and everything is ready to post. And if you look at your emails in a few moments, you will see that you have a notification. And that's how I email my students. I can choose to just write a text, or I can choose to even add an image. So of course, we know who are the students right here in people. And then do you have a syllabus? You can add a syllabus. For example, I can edit this, and then I could choose to have something that I created somewhere on there. I created it for another purpose of the course, but I can have, for example, in my syllabus, that's it. This course is intended for teachers K to 20 plus. That means even tertiary education. All right, so then I could have an outline, module 1, blah, 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 module 2, and then so forth. So I update my syllabus, and for the purpose of the course, we have a syllabus now. You already know you have your modules. Now, in here in the module, you would see that you have some of the features of the LMS. Now you have this video, and then the video will ask you to, after watching the video, you start with your profile, and then you have an assignment. Your first assignment is to reply using a video. Now, how did I do that? And this is something wonderful because you don't have to depend only on writing. Sometimes, especially when we're teaching language, we want to measure pronunciation, confidence, and all of this beautiful, the pitch of the voice, voice projection, rather, and all of these cool things that we need to take it into consideration when we are teaching a student. So for that purpose, we are going to create an assignment like that. So let's go back to modules. And do you remember I was creating an assignment right here? So we have an assignment. And if you look at it, if you have a quiz, you have a little rocket. When you have an assignment, you have a little pencil. And when you have a page, you only have a paper. This is how you know through these icons what type of activity you created also, in case you don't recall. So I'm gonna create an assignment, and your assignment is called create an announcement, right? I'm gonna get into the assignment, and I want to now write down the instructions clearly, and then I want to set the assignment for my students to reply. As you can see, the assignment has no content, and I'm going to click edit, and it's not published. I want to give the assignment 10 points, which is going to happen later. And I will say, for example, create an announcement. So I'm going to ask you to speak. Okay, sorry. Announce your upcoming course. Now, before I continue with this, remember the reason I'm giving you this training and the reason you are doing it the way you are doing it is because you will be working according to our conversations and our meetings, you will be working under the International Cultural Institute teaching courses. And hopefully, even if you teach for any other institution or on your own, we are more than happy to know that we would have helped you to achieve your goals. But hopefully, you decide to stay with us and we can grow together as partners. So for the purpose of this workshop, you are expected to create a course. Now, some persons here in the demo have already created courses, and we have been working on developing all the courses on the platform. Of course, they don't have to do that, they have already done it. But if you have courses, like some of you, I know you do have a lot of content, this is where you start creating your own courses. So for this homework, you will announce your upcoming course, okay? So you will explain, okay, so to do so, you will create a recording. In which you will, and then you start telling your students what all you want. So for your purpose, you will say introduce yourself, because you're selling yourself now. Now, this course can very well serve to advertise what you're teaching. So what is it that you want to teach? Do you want to teach primary school English, primary school Spanish? Do you want to teach pharmacology? Do you want to teach linguistics? Do you want to teach DELE prep, BJC? Do Spanish for high school? Whatever it is, you will create this announcement. So create Introduce yourself. So remember, you can use a lot of the word features that are built in here. So you introduce yourself, speak about your background, and then sell the course. So those are the three things you have to do. How many points are you getting? So since you have to do 3 things, let's give you 30 points. Now, I have not even set up yet how many points are awarded for each thing, because you know every course normally tends to be weighed, and then there's 30% for what, 40% for what. So for the purpose of this assignment, we are going to give it 30 points, 10 points for each feature that you mentioned. And as you can see, is an assignment. It's going to be giving in points, but I could have chosen percentages. And the submission, I am going to say that it's going to be online, and I want a media recording, no writing. Then there's another cool feature, which is going to be the calendar. You will get to see how it works right now, because I'm going to give it only a 1 try. You will be allowed to upload 1 try. Let's do 2, and then the second one more than likely would be chosen. And you do not require peer review, but if you do, you could choose to do that, right? If it's a group assignment, then you choose which one is the group. And I'm going to give it a due date, because hopefully you will allow me to do this for at least 2 more Saturdays, where you could really learn to do this, and when we could launch together the courses that we have been planning to do for a while. So your due date would be Friday. Friday, nah, it has to be about Thursdays, because you have to be graded before. So Thursday is your due date at 11:59. The assignment is available from, let's say, today, now, and until I'm going to choose the same Thursday over here, but now you know that it's due and when it's due. So I can choose to save it or publish it, save it and publish it 1 time also. I'm going to do save and publish just for you to see the difference. And oh, it's not a group assignment. And now you see how I have a homework. And let's see how the students view this. The students will see this, but it's not available yet, because remember that they have to complete the other modules before they get to this one. That is the importance of creating prerequisites, especially when you have your YouTube videos and you want to share. And not only for the purpose of advertising your channel, also for the purpose of ensuring that your students are attaining the knowledge that is required, because then at the end of the course, they're going to be asking you questions from week 1 and week 2. So you will avoid that by ensuring that they do the previous module before they do the new assignment. Okay. Now, let's see, after we created this assignment, let's take a look at the calendar and let's see what happens at the calendar level. At the calendar level, now the students, well, of course, the calendar has the institutional. Let me view it as a student to make it easier for you guys. But bottom line, what you see now is because there are all the courses already built in here. But once you set up a deadline for your assignment, you will see your assignment reflected. You see? You will see your assignment reflected. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to refresh it. Virtual learning environment. As you can see, I have different colors. This is published. Now, I am going to do something quickly. I'm going to take the module because that's another thing. While I publish this, you want to ensure that your module is visible. Otherwise, nobody will be able to see your assignment or anything for that module. So I'm going to make this module visible. And within this module, the communication module, you only have certain things available. I'm now going to let the quiz show. Then I'm going to go back to the student view. Now, as a student, I can see the communication feature, and then I'm going to go to the calendar. And then now I have my assignments built in my calendar. As a student, I have two assignments. I have two assignments, one on the 25th and the other one on the 31st. So now that we have an idea of how to create an account, how to create modules, how to add activities to modules such as pages to share information, assignments, quizzes, and even discussions, which you will also see as a part of your assignment, where you are actually be a part of the forum. It's time to start learning how we are going to use the conference feature, which is the built-in virtual classroom. So for the purpose of this training, we are going to take a 5-minute break, and we are going to come back by way of the link that was shared by Professor Cismara Sanchez, who is going to help us to understand how to navigate the tool. And thank you so much for being here and for believing in this project. It's going to be a wonderful experience. I have worked with so many of you already, and it has been nothing but a great pleasure. Everything that I have done with each of you individually has been successful. Therefore, I thought it was time to put the team together. So, for the purpose of the recording, my name is Professor Miruji Hernandez. This recording was done as a training for the International Culture Institute. The training is called T-Tech, Teaching Technology, and this specific course is called the VLE, Virtual Learning Environment. I do hope you enjoyed the instruction so far. And without further ado, in 5 minutes, we will be in the hands of my beautiful colleague who's so smart, and I believe in her so much, Professor Cismara Sanchez Labastida. Of course, before she starts the training, she will be speaking a little bit about herself briefly. She might not like it, but I'm going to stop the recording, and thank you again.